Hello all, welcome and welcome replay viewers. I'm Mary and I blog at notbefore7.com. You can also find me on Twitter and on Facebook at notbefore7.com. So I'll give you that information again. So hello and welcome today. I am actually on my way out of town. And I just wanted to pop in today and kind of share something I was thinking about in my homeschool that might be encouraging to some of you to think about in yours. I was just kind of pondering what some of the advantages of homeschooling are. And one of the things I was really thinking about this week was listening and how important it is to just listen to our children. Hi, Ashley. I see Ashley has joined in. I think there's more of you out there. You're welcome to put your name in the comments or give a few little hearts and say hi, just so I know who we have here. Dogwood Mama, I think I saw you pop in. Not sure your first name, but hi and welcome. So I was just thinking about the advantage of homeschooling, and that is listening to our children. And it's a great parenting practice, of course, for any parent, not just homeschool parents, to listen to their kids. But our homeschool kids have a huge, hi, Elizabeth. Oh, good. It's good to know your name, your first name. Our homeschool kids have a huge advantage of having an adult present all day long in their lives and in their education who can listen to their ideas. They can share their thoughts, their stories, their concerns, and what they're processing. One of my children in particular is an out loud processor. So he wants to talk about everything. This is really hard for him when he's in a classroom situation. He went to a camp last summer and the teacher talked to me the first day and was kind of like, your son needs to know when to keep his mouth closed. And he just really couldn't understand why when he was excited about something, he couldn't share that. So we have had to work on that because there are situations you can and situations you can't. But here at home, I'm eager for the interruptions. This morning, he wanted to sit and talk about how the colonists in Jamestown maybe could have improved the housing that they built and they could have done a better job. So we talked about that for a while. We also spend a lot of time talking about the several evolutions of Pokemon characters, so that I know that Pikachu is the second evolution and Raichu is the third evolution of a Pikachu. Very fascinating stuff here. But all of these conversations are important. And as I was thinking about this week and thinking about being more intentional about listening to my kids, I was really struggling with the fact that it's really hard to measure that. And a lot of times we want to be able to evaluate or measure what's going on in our homeschool. And it's not a worksheet. It's not a test or a quiz. It's just a conversation. So it becomes very difficult to measure and evaluate. And so a lot of times we can shrug off the importance. Oh, guys, we need to talk later. Let's get to this worksheet, or let's just read the book and then we can talk later. It's so easy to do. And that's just something I'm trying to intentionally change about the way that I'm homeschooling and feeling more relaxed in being able to just have conversations with my kids and not have to evaluate it. So I want to show you, actually I want to read to you something that I was reading. So I got to open the iPad here. I'm going to show you the cover of this book. I recommend these books. I have the digital format, but this is by Julie Bogart at Brave Writer, and she writes little daily reflections. Oh, I see some hearts. I see some hearts for Julie. She writes daily reflections to sustain your homeschool commitment, and she has them for the fall, the winter, and the spring, and they are so timely to own each one because it just seems like as I'm reading the fall one, things just hit that are so pertinent to the exact mindset I seem to have in the fall. So this is what I read in the first one, and it just struck me because this is what I was pondering. Oh, Rebecca, you read them too? Yeah, the spring one was my first one, and then I've gotten the fall one, and I just love it. And in the first one here, she's talking about how homeschooling is really unique. And here's the sentence I was going to share. It's from day one, so everyone can see. We're reading day one, A Unique Education. And it says here that the homeschooling parent can't appreciate that a long, rich conversation with an 8-year-old about the blue jay at the feeder is better than 3 sentences written in a workbook about it. And that just really struck me as I was thinking through this listening, is just how difficult it is to appreciate the conversations, because you can't report them, you can't measure them, you can't always test them. And so many people, when they ask, well, how long does it take you to homeschool? How many hours a day do you spend? You know, I go back and forth. Partly I want to look at them and I say, I spend 12 hours a day, because learning never stops. The conversation I had in the kitchen while making dinner about Pokemon evolutions, or about the best chess strategy, or about building, what were they talking about building in Minecraft today? Oh, we were studying China and or Japan, and when it became a closed country and Buddhism was flourishing, and we were talking about the Zen Buddhists, and they were talking about building a Zen garden in their Minecraft, and we talked about that for a while and what that meant, and a lot of religious discussion. Well, you can't really measure that, but to me, that's part of school. So I'm tempted to answer, I spend 12 hours a day. But I know what they really mean is, how much time do you spend on seat work? But if I tell them, well, I only spend about an hour or two, that sounds so little to people. But I think as home educators, we just need to remember the value of listening to our kids and talking with them. What else was I going to say? I think that's it. Oh, and the value of this is try to be active listeners. It is so tempting to just zone out in a conversation about Pikachu and Raichu, and I can't even name any more right now, but it is really tempting. Or Minecraft. I have played Minecraft. I just sat down and let them teach me how to fly around and how to dig and mine, and that's all valuable. It doesn't feel as valuable as discussing chess strategies or colonialism in America, but it is valuable. They're explaining to me something on their mind. They're learning how to teach me and explain a process, and their little brains are just firing on all cylinders. So that is all I was going to share today. It's just a little bit that was on my mind about listening to our kids, and that beautiful advantage we have as homeschoolers to just spend some time looking in their eyes and hearing what's going on in their brain. For some of my other kids, I have a gymnast, so she'll often ask me, do you think I can do a needle? And what about a Wendy? I don't even know what these things are. So I have to say to her, what is that? And we go through it, and I take our iPod and I take pictures of her doing it, and we discuss, should she put them on Instagram? Should she edit them? How much longer will it take her to get to the next level? And all of those things. So I think that's all I have to share. And I hope each of you will also remember the value of what you're doing when you just listen to your kids. They want to talk to us, and they're so fortunate to have an adult present all day long in school to process through all of their thoughts. So that's all I have to say. Anybody want to pipe in with what you get to listen to all day? I've shared that I listen to Minecraft and Pokemon and gymnastics, and occasional school stuff. What do you guys listen to all day? What are your kids sharing? I'm sure there are other Minecraft players out there. Any other moms give it a whirl themselves? LPS toys. I don't know what they are. I'm going to have to look that up. I don't know if I can screenshot while something is talking, so I'm going to get a pen. Ooh, and write that down. LPS toys. Okay, anybody else? It can get a little mind-numbing, so let's just all remember that we are in this together, and let's enjoy it. Oh my gosh, Dogwood Mama is Elizabeth, who I know. That is so funny, Elizabeth. You must have cracked up when I was kind of like, oh, hi. LPS toys. And I bet there's a lot of manga going on too, Dogwood Mama, at your house. And that's another one that, of course, Pokemon is a little bit of an intro, kind of a little intro to the whole manga thing. But manga is another hot topic right now. Oh, glad you're back, Rebecca. That was really it. I was just asking, I was curious what other people had to talk about. Oh, Little's Pet Shop. Oh my gosh, we have so many pet shops. We're kind of in a phase of phasing out of those, but they are still around here. Yeah, you know, I have a really hard time with the imagination play. I do try to set it up and create it and even listen and talk about it, but it's really hard for me to sit down and actually get involved in the game. My husband's actually really good at that. But I'm a great listener. That's what I'm working on, is just listening and talking about it. You know, I can sit in there and bake and talk about Pokemon evolutions. I can do that. I can't actually sit down with the Pokemon toys and engage it. That's a little harder for me. But I can sit and hear all about it and try to remember it. So this week I tried to remember that Raichu is the third evolution and Pikachu is the second evolution. That's why you've heard me say it a few times. I'm trying to get it in my head so I can at least hang with the conversation. Yet Littlest Pet Shops were really big when my girls were a little younger. They are now almost 13 and 11. So every now and then the 11-year-old breaks them out all over her room and has a good time with that. But those are great conversations. What are they named? What stories are they involved in? And you know, that can also often lead to writing. LPS go live in fairy houses here. Okay, I really, as soon as we get off, I'm looking up LPS. But fairy houses, that's awesome. Well, ladies, it was lovely chatting with you today. Hopefully later this week, I've been asked to do some math scopes. So I'm a former math teacher. I taught 5th grade and then I taught middle school math. And a few people have asked me to talk about Brave Writer lifestyle in math, and then also just math manipulatives and how we do math around here. So I'm hoping to do, oh, thanks, Elizabeth. I try. I have to work very hard at listening because I'm more of a talker. So it's hard for me. Anyway, so I'm hoping to pop back in on Wednesday. I'm hoping to make Monday and Wednesday the days that I scope, trying not to interfere with anybody else. But trying to keep pushing this, as weird as it feels to be talking to my phone. But I love seeing what everybody's kids are doing. My 5-year-old preteen. Oh, do you use Video Star? Video Star is the big one in this house. There's a lot of Video Star going on, and that's great creative stuff. I love listening to the ideas and how that happens. So that's another thing we can listen, is the creative minds and how they're working. All right, ladies, I am actually headed out of town, so it was lovely seeing you. I'm hopefully going to get this up on the blog. And again, I am Mary at notbefore7.com. You can find me on Twitter and Facebook at notbefore7. There's a page there on Facebook. It's facebook.com/notbefore7, and you can like that. And today I also talked about Julie's book, which you can find at bravewriter.com, that a lot of you also enjoy. So thanks for tuning in, and hopefully I will see you Wednesday. You know, I'm wondering, I feel like comments come in, there must be a delay, just our regular video. Okay, that's fun too. I have some hysterical videos of the kids just talking. So thanks, Rebecca. Thanks for coming by, and Elizabeth and the other viewers. Ashley, I think you were in here, and anyone else who popped in. Let's remember to listen to our kids. All right, bye-bye.